and I welcome the new protocol on the wearing of masks in the chamber. Could I thank you, Leader, for agreeing, and the Seanad office for putting down the motion on conclusion of the order of business for restoration of 2 bills to the order paper. Just for the information of colleagues, those bills are Labour bills which were introduced and indeed both passed by the previous Seanad at second stage. The first bill is the Irish Nationality and Citizenship, Naturalisation of Minors Born in Ireland Bill 2018, which would restore certain citizenship rights to minors, to children born in Ireland. It was passed here in the Seanad in November 2018 with support from Fianna Fáil and the Greens then, and we very much hope that we will be able to see it pass through all stages in the Seanad in the lifetime of this Seanad. So we're restoring it to the order paper to go to committee stage. And then our second bill is the Convictions for Certain Sexual Offences, Apology and Exoneration Bill, which again passed Seanad's second stage in February 2017 with, in fact, unanimous support in the House. The State has issued an apology since then in 2018, but it has not exonerated the records or expunged the records of those men who were convicted of relevant historical offences. I know the expungement is contained in the programme for government, but we wish to assist the government by bringing forward our legislation again and restoring it to the order paper. So I thank you for that, Leader, and I hope that all parties will support those 2 bills. Could I also, Leader, just renew a call for Minister Roderick O'Gorman to come into the House after the recess, I think, but early in the September session to have a debate with us on disability services, in particular in respect of the necessary legislation to be passed in the lifetime of this government to ensure that we are fully compliant with our international obligations on the rights of persons with disabilities. The Justice for Wards of Court organisation has been in contact with me, has pointed out to me a number of different gaps in our law currently, which again I think are well recognised, but which we want to hear about a time frame for passage of legislation. And I would also look to ask the Minister at that point about residential services, the reopening of day services. I'll be putting in questions to the Minister in the meantime on those, because I have been inundated with messages from people who are deeply concerned, people with Down syndrome and others who have real difficulties with accessing residential and daycare services. And finally, Leader, just to ask you for information in respect of the report by Tom O'Malley, the renowned academic, on who was commissioned in 2018 to carry out a report into necessary reform of our law on sex offences. That was in response, I think, at the time to the Belfast rape trial. The report was due to be published, in fact, by tomorrow, Friday. The most recent deadline given lapses, because on the 3rd of July, the Irish Times announced the report, which has been delayed a number of times, would be published in 2 to 3 weeks, and that deadline would lapse tomorrow. We know from Rape Crisis Network Ireland and the Dublin Rape Crisis Centre how much of an increase there have been in reports of rape, and so it is really important, therefore, that we would see this report published without delay. Gurmag.
Minister and Senator Hackett.